Dmitry Anatolyevich Medvedev was born on September 14, 1965, in Leningrad, now Saint Petersburg, Soviet Union. He was the only child of Anatoly Afanasievich Medvedev, 1926–2004, a chemical engineer and professor at the Leningrad State Institute of Technology, and Yulia Veniaminovna Medvedeva, née Shaposhnikova, born 1939, who studied languages at Voronezh University, taught Russian at the Kherson State Pedagogical University, and later worked as a tour guide at Pavlovsk Palace. The family belonged to the Soviet intelligentsia and lived in a modest 40-square-meter apartment in the Kupchino district. Medvedev's maternal grandparents were of Ukrainian origin from the Belgorod region. As a child, he was intellectually curious, often asking why questions, and developed interests in dinosaurs, geology, and chemistry. In 7th grade, he began a relationship with Svetlana Linik, his future wife, which briefly affected his school performance during final exams in 1982. In 1982, at age 17, Medvedev enrolled at Leningrad State University, now Saint Petersburg State University, to study law, initially considering linguistics but finding law more engaging. During his university years, he was a fan of English rock bands like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Pink Floyd, and participated in sports such as rowing and weightlifting. He graduated in 1987 with a degree in law, alongside associates including Ilya Yeliseyev, Anton Ivanov, Nikolai Vinnichenko, and Konstantin Chaichenko. He then pursued postgraduate studies, defending his dissertation in 1990 on Problems of Realization of Civil Juridical Personality of State Enterprise, earning a Candidate of Juridical Sciences degree in civil law. Legal and academic career. Medvedev's early professional life focused on academia and law. In 1988, while still a student, he joined the team of Anatoly Sobchak, a reformist politician and his former professor, serving as the de facto head of Sobchak's successful campaign for a seat in the Congress of People's Deputies of the USSR. After Sobchak's election, Medvedev became an associate professor at Saint Petersburg State University, teaching civil and Roman law until 1999. He co-authored a 3-volume civil law textbook that sold over 1 million copies and was updated through its 6th edition in 2007. To supplement his salary, he founded a small law consultancy firm with friends Anton Ivanov and Ilya Yeliseyev. He also wrote articles on civil law and co-authored works like A Commentary on the Federal Law, on the State Civil Service of the Russian Federation, effective 2004, and Questions of Russia's National Development, 2007. Entry into politics and rise under Putin. Medvedev's political career took off in the early 1990s amid the Soviet Union's collapse. In 1990, when Sobchak became chairman of the Leningrad City Council, Medvedev joined his team. Vladimir Putin, another Sobchak associate, became an advisor, and in 1991, after Sobchak's election as mayor, Medvedev served as a consultant to the Committee for Foreign Affairs, headed by Putin. In November 1993, he became legal affairs director at Ilim Pulp Enterprise, helping it grow into Russia's largest lumber company by 1999. He sold his shares that year before entering national politics. In November 1999, as Putin rose to power under President Boris Yeltsin, Medvedev moved to Moscow as part of a group of St. Petersburg allies. He became deputy head of the presidential staff on December 31, 1999, and was promoted to first-class active state councilor on January 17, 2000. He managed Putin's successful 2000 presidential campaign, where Putin won 52.94% of the vote. From 2000 to 2008, Medvedev chaired the board of directors of Gazprom, Russia's state-controlled energy giant, overseeing its debt restructuring and market capitalization growth from $7.8 billion to $300 billion. He also handled gas price negotiations with Ukraine and Belarus. In October 2003, Medvedev became Kremlin chief of staff, replacing Alexander Voloshin, and served until November 2005. He then served as first deputy prime minister from November 2005 to May 2008, overseeing national priority projects in health, education, housing, and agriculture, though critics noted limited effectiveness due to insufficient funding. Presidency. 2008-2012. On December 10, 2007, Putin endorsed Medvedev as the United Russia Party's candidate for president. Medvedev won the March 2008 election with 70.28% of the vote, adjusted to about 63% after accounting for alleged falsifications, and was inaugurated on May 7, 2008, immediately nominating Putin as prime minister. His presidency emphasized modernization, anti-corruption, and liberalization, with the slogan, "Freedom is better than no freedom." Key achievements included launching the Presidential Commission for Modernization and Technological Development of the Russian Economy, approving a national anti-corruption strategy in 2010 and police reforms with a $7 billion budget for 2012-2013, extending the presidential term from 4 to 6 years, signing the New START nuclear arms reduction treaty with the U.S. in 2010, lowering the Duma election threshold from 7% to 5% and initiating privatization of state-owned companies, responding to the 2008-2009 financial crisis by attributing Russia's economic decline to global factors rather than internal policies. Foreign policy highlights included authorizing military intervention in the 2008 Russo-Georgian War, recognizing South Ossetia and Abkhazia's independence, and engaging in digital diplomacy via the Kremlin's first podcast and video blog. However, his term ended amid controversy over the December 2011 parliamentary elections, marred by irregularities that sparked large protests, the largest since the Soviet Union's fall. Medvedev oversaw Russia's accession to the World Trade Organization in 2012. Prime Ministership, 2012-2020. After Putin's return to the presidency in 2012, winning 63.6% of the vote, Medvedev became prime minister on May 8, 2012, nominated by Putin. He led 2 terms, focusing on economic policies amid sanctions following Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea. Achievements included managing responses to economic challenges like the Great Recession's aftermath and 2019 wildfires. He remained chairman of United Russia from May 2012. Controversies plagued his tenure. In 2016, opposition leader Alexei Navalny accused him of owning luxury properties worth $1.2 billion via shell companies in the film, "He Is Not Diamond to You," sparking nationwide protests and Navalny's arrest. Medvedev dismissed it as nonsense. A 2016 comment to a pensioner in Crimea, "There's just no money. But you take care," went viral, drawing backlash for insensitivity. 2018 pension reforms, raising retirement ages, led to protests despite Putin's concessions. On January 15, 2020, Medvedev and his government resigned unexpectedly, citing the need for constitutional changes to empower parliament. Putin nominated Mikhail Mishustin as his successor. Current role as Deputy Chairman of the Security Council, 2020-present. Appointed Deputy Chairman of the Security Council on January 16, 2020, Medvedev advises on national security, earning a monthly salary of about 618,713 rubles, as of 2020. His role has shifted him toward hawkish rhetoric, especially post-2022 Ukraine invasion. He has used social media, Telegram, Twitter, for inflammatory statements, including threats of nuclear escalation, World War III, and attacks on NATO countries. In 2024, he described Ukraine as part of Russia and displayed a map partitioning it. In May 2025, he threatened World War III after U.S. President Donald Trump's criticism of Putin. In 2025, Medvedev's comments escalated tensions. August, warned of a new reality after Russia ditched the INF treaty, blaming NATO. This prompted Trump to reposition 2 U.S. nuclear submarines. August, exchanged barbs with Trump over Ukraine ceasefires, calling ultimatums steps toward war. September 8, in a TASS essay, accused Finland of preparing a NATO attack, echoing pre-Ukraine invasion rhetoric, and threatened the collapse of Finnish statehood, citing historical Nazi ties. Analysts view his role as amplifying Kremlin messaging without real decision-making power, marking a shift from perceived liberalism to radicalism. Personal life. Medvedev married Svetlana Vladimirovna Linik, born 1965, in 1993. They met in school. She is an economist and former university classmate. They have 1 son, Ilya Dmitrievich Medvedev, born 1995, who studied at the Moscow State Institute of International Relations. The family maintains a low profile, though corruption allegations targeted their assets. Medvedev is known for Western cultural interests, including rock music and judo, black belt. He has no KGB ties, unlike Putin, and was seen as a technocrat early on. As of 2025, at age 59, he remains a loyal Putin ally, speculated as a potential successor but increasingly marginalized.